the Napoleonic Wars with dragons. That's the idea here in the first of the Temeraire series, His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novik. Basically, at the time of doing this, in early 2022, there are 9 books in the series, although apparently there is some talk about a prequel. This is the first one and deals with the dragon, Temeraire, hatching, being trained, and experiencing combat for the first couple of times. His captain, Lawrence, a ship's captain, who was the one to seize the egg from the French, is the one who is paired with the dragon, much like in various other science fiction and fantasy series. This is fine as far as it goes. It allows for quite the entertaining repartee between the two of them. If there's a frustration to the setting for this alternate history fantasy is Regency England, mainly because, for whatever reason, the author has decided to make the aviators, those that fight with dragons, a separate, walled-off part of society, in fact considered outside of polite society almost completely. I sort of understand why she decided on this. It allows for lots of strife between Lawrence and various characters around him, friends, family, naval colleagues, etc. Essentially doing the, I say, why are you forced to deal with those dragons? What horrible luck for you. The problem is that from what we little know of dragons at this point, that, if anything, wouldn't there be a certain level of respect for them? There's a passing reference to them existing in art, as well as being key to the United Kingdom's various military successes. The Battle of the Nile is mentioned specifically, as well as the defeat of the Armada. Wouldn't it be more equivalent to how aviators, in the sense of being pilots, were viewed in the First World War as heroes to be discussed, enjoyed, and promoted? I understand it from a narrative perspective. I'm just not sure about the world-building aspect of it. That grumble aside, I do enjoy this series. I've read these books before, at least up to the 5th or 6th volume, but for whatever reason, I never actually finished it. I'm hoping to do so this year as part of my wider reading project of getting to grips with some old favorites, as well as going back and finding more by those authors. Since I was at least trained as a military historian, I might as well say something about the tactics and strategies that the dragons are involved in. They're fought much like a combination between aircraft, flying in formation and the like, and ships that aren't in water, with sharpshooters and the like on them, but as well as the ability to use their own weapons. One species can spit acid, for instance, and Temeraire has its own ability, which is displayed as part of the climax of the book, so I won't spoil it here. The book concludes with an excerpt from a fictional encyclopedia on dragons, which provides some interesting background. I always do like these fake nonfiction pieces as part of a fictional text. Again, it's probably the academic in me, mostly because it allows for plenty of in-jokes and a bit of sarcasm about academic nonfiction writing. I should probably get to my view on how frequently I'm going to be rereading this at this point. I'm pretty sure I've read this at least twice and possibly 3 times since its initial publication, but it's been probably 5 or 6 years at this point. For whatever reason, the series slipped my mind, and there was always something else to pick up instead of it. This was a mistake on my part. I'm probably going to be reading this thing every year or so going forward. It really is that good. I should also give a disclaimer here. For the record, yes, I do run a boutique publishing company, although we haven't published anything involving the Napoleonic Wars, either in fiction or nonfiction, and certainly haven't done anything with dragons, but I figured I should mention it anyway. I believe I'll be picking up the second book in the series in about a week's time or so. If you enjoyed my review, please do all those things that everyone else tells you to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon.